Now, this is a topic that a lot of people don't talk about, and it's rare that someone would ever come to you and say, hey, I'm feeling lonely, I'm feeling down, I feel like I have no one and no one has me. But in today's day and age, it's literally something that it's a pandemic, right? I don't want to use that word, but I'm using it, especially with all this technology use. It's so much easier for you to just be in isolation 24/7. And when I say loneliness is killing us, it is, right? Because the higher level of loneliness that you suffer, you might get depression because of it. You might get a cardiovascular disease because of it. You might suffer cognitive decline because of it. So just long story short, your longevity is going to be cut massively because of your loneliness. And it's scientifically proven. This isn't just about something about, oh, just go out and make friends, be happy, be jolly. It's literally your life depends on it. And it's literally, human connection is not something that you just get to whenever you want to, right? It's not something that I'll take care of it tomorrow. It's something that you may not have it tomorrow if you're lacking human connection. Why? Because it's a biological need. The same way that we need food and money to survive, sunlight, water, hydration, right? It's the same way you need human connection. And sometimes you can lock yourself in a room in your house, in your office, whatever the case may be, and think that you're getting human connection by scrolling through TikTok or Instagram or watching videos on YouTube. But that's not real. You get it? It has its use, especially if you want to procrastinate or you just want to kill time and you're bored. It's great. It's entertaining, right? It's a dopamine hit over and over and over. But it's not human connection. It's not face-to-face, eye-to-eye, right? It's none of that. Now, millions of people today are waking up and they're going for their phones first thing in the morning, and guess what? Nobody called them, no missed calls, no text messages, no DMs, no nothing. And that has an effect on people, And, of course, I'm not saying human connection means looking at people, because every day you can go outside, get in a vehicle, or go on a train and see strangers. But if that stranger doesn't connect with you and you have no history with them, at that point, they don't know who you truly are. They don't know you. You get it? So that's the frightening thing. You could be around a million people, you could see a million faces, but if they don't know you, then what does that do for you? It does nothing. And loneliness doesn't just affect how you feel. It changes your body. It changes your brain. And because of that, it even changes the amount of years that you can live. And if that's not something that wakes you up and makes you go, okay, oh crap, maybe me being a lone wolf isn't something that's beneficial to me. And like I said earlier, we're not meant to be alone. We're tribal individuals. We're people who need a community. We need a team. You only hear a team when it comes to work or schoolwork, but no, what about your own team? What about your own family? And when you look at the past, back, if you were alone, that was dangerous, right? That's how we survived as humans. We survived because we belonged to a group. We had our tribe. We had our families. We had the mothers, the grandmothers, the daughters, the men, the cousins. And, the men will go out and some of them would hunt food. Some of them would protect the house, protect the children. And at that point, you can face fear together as opposed to just being vulnerable and alone, right? Think about it. When police show up to a crime scene, they're not there alone. No, right? They're calling for backup because it makes them stronger. And evolution never got rid of that. Even though we're safer now, our brains rely on a community. And, that's why social connection is something that's essential for us. Like I said, like food and water, it feels good when you feel connected, when you feel part of the tribe. When someone calls you, say, hey, the squad is going out, you should come. Hey, the girls are going to a bachelorette party, you should be there. That feels good. Or hey, the crew, our group, we're going to go out and go get some dinner, you should come. That feels good. And the alternative is when you don't get invited and you find out that they went out without you, it crushes you, it hurts. That's our brain. And again, back to the brain, our brain, I believe, and you can look all this stuff up, it sees loneliness as a signal that you're vulnerable, that you're not protected, that you're unsafe. And when you feel that, what do you think happens? What comes along with that? What comes along? Stress. And having stress, those hormones released every day in your bloodstream, you think when you're highly stressed out, you're going to be able to sleep better? I don't think so. When I'm stressed, I can't sleep. I can't think properly. And then with stress, what happens and lack of sleep comes anxiety. Now you have anxiety and you're just panicking 24/7. And then what does that do to your body? It increases inflammation. And inflammation is something that your body's trying to ward off diseases and fever and sickness. And if you're having that 24/7, what do you think that's doing to your body? So loneliness is not just about your emotional reaction to things and how you feel. It's biological, it affects your state of mind, your state of wellness. And, people just don't see loneliness that way. And here's the crazier thing about that. We've never been more connected. That's why I told you about social media and all that. You can look at people, you can reach out to celebrities, you can reach out to people you went to kindergarten with or whatever. You can get all these likes on social media. You can, gather a big following, but you're never having a one-to-one conversation that's honest. You get what I mean? And just because you have notifications and all these pings, ping, 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 that doesn't make you feel wanted or seen or acknowledged. And I'm not saying that social media is bad. Look, this is what I'm doing, and I feel like I'm doing it for the right reasons. But this doesn't replace being truly understood and valued by a human being. It just doesn't, right? Because right now you may want to ask me a question. You may want to say, hey, your shirt's too red or whatever. I don't like your hat, whatever the case is. But you can't do that, right? So that's the disconnect. And again, relationships, if you're trying to build them because it's an emergency, it's not going to work, right? Relationships are built when you see that person at the office or at a coffee shop or, phone calls that you make when you don't need something from them. It's remembering someone's birthday or literally calling someone, and then when they call you back, they go, hey, what's up? What do you need? You go, nothing. I just wanted to call and say what's up. What? How good does that feel when someone calls you and they don't need nothing from you? They just literally wanted to say what's up. I was thinking about you. You were on my mind. And I'm not saying, guys do this to girls, because a lot of the times you're doing that because you want to get in good with them. But it's important to reach out before you need them. And a lot of times you may not need something from someone. And like I said earlier, this is a rare topic. A lot of people will never talk about being lonely. So don't assume that your friends that you think that they got it going on, that they're not lonely, that they're not suffering. And there's people who are lonely who have a wife and they have children, they have kids, they have a lot of coworkers, they may be in leadership positions, but guess what? They're still lonely. And because they have all these things, to the world, they seem like they're successful. So at that point, they can't admit that they are lonely, right? They may be ashamed of it. It's like, hey, I have too much to lose if somebody doesn't think that I'm some rock solid individual, that I'm the manliest man or woman as well, right? So again, just think about it. Life is not all about followers, money, promotions, or a big chain or a nice car. It's not even that. It's literally by the people who know you. That's to me is the biggest value. That's the biggest flex that you can have on anyone, is people that if you call them, guess what? They're going to pick up the phone. What? You know how valuable that is? It's, hey man, I need to go to the park. And they'll sit on a freaking bench with pigeons pooping on their head. They'll do that. Why? Because they love you. So success, it isn't about, filling your calendar. It's about filling your life up with people. So at the end of the day, what can you do now? If there's someone you've been thinking about and you say, oh, I should reach out to them, pause this video. This video is going to be here forever. Just relax. You know what I mean? Pause it. Send them a text. Call them. I know people don't like calling this day and age. Call them. It's okay. And don't wait to do it because their life is falling apart or, oh, they're getting married or they just had a baby. No. Because at the end of the day, one day, you're going to need that friendship. And you're not going to have that friendship unless you're building it today. So remember, every person has a story, every behavior has a reason, and every connection reminds us of what it is to be human. Until next time, if you can, let me know in the comment section below what loneliness has done to your life and how you hopefully reversed it. Let me know.